Right, so I opened up the stream, so we'll be out there so we can at least check audio and check some other
I
stuff.
guess I'll turn the volume on so I see
Yeah.
if I can hear you.
Yep, I hear you.
Yep.
Yep, I hear you. Good, good. All right. So that'll give folks a chance to kind of meander in, see how things go. It's a long hiatus, man. Didn't think it was that long, but boy, was it a while. But it was worth it. It was worth it. I,
Yeah, I'm jealous. Never been that way.
I just hope I've got enough time to prepare everything because I did zero preparation before we left, and I've been doing all the preparation this last weekend for this.
Yeah, oh yeah, I bet you a ton of work because you're mom too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep, yep. So, but at least we had off today at work, so it gave me a nice long weekend to kind of
Oh yeah, nice, yeah.
chillax. All right. Oh, so far so good. Things look okay. Like it's just you and Ronnie out there. All my buttons are working. What's going on? Something drastic's gonna happen right in the middle of the stream because everything's starting out really nice and easy.
Don't jinx yourself.
I know,
Just
right?
don't.
I know. It's like, shut up, Sean. So I meant to ask Ronnie. I know you went to 10th level. Did you update? I know you probably updated your personal character sheet, but did you update the sheet for the game?
I did,
Roger that. My hero.
and I wrote down that I only rolled a 3, so I know at least now the last 3 levels that I rolled. In case you
Perfect.
decide to start throwing negative levels at us.
Look, man, those are only certain circumstances. Once you guys, when you get to about 15th level, that's when I really need to start doing like hordes of vampires and stuff like that to suck away levels. But until then,
So many Irish sounding names in this Joff.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I hope you guys will enjoy. Have us a good time. There it is.
Ho, ho, ho!
I like it.
It's a good thing I got that one out because that was bad rolls in there.
Keep it up, man. Keep it up. Hey.
Ho, ho, ho!
Do 5 minutes and counting. Let's see if anybody else shows up. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know what to do with Baron if he doesn't show up. Like none of his experience has been updated with anything. I have no clue what's going on.
Yeah,
Hey
he
man,
hasn't kept up. What's up, man?
Same old same.
my wife loved the North Shore shrimp.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody kept on asking, "Should you go to Giovanni? Should you go to Giovanni?" I said, "No, some little roadside shack that we stopped at."
Hmm.
But it was good, man. It was real good. They had a couple of different because we were on a tour, so they said, "Hey, pick one of these or other of these meals when we get there," and that way they sort of sent it ahead so they could prepare the boxes for when we showed up. And so I was like, "Hey, I'll take this one, you take that one, and then we'll just share." Shit, couldn't even share. We had so much left over. I was like, "Holy crap, man!" That's some. They were the prawns too. They weren't just like the itty bitty shrimp, man. They were like
Oh, right.
the shrimp the size of tuna. You know, they're freaking huge.
Baby lobsters, basically.
Exactly, dude. You're not lying. Oh, it was so good. We had such a good time. My wife is still crying. I'm crying too. I want to go back because it's like,
I actually considered moving there after.
well, when we were leaving, I told my wife. I said, I found this nice little 1-bedroom, 1-bath shack for just $720,000.
Exactly.
It's nowhere near the ocean, but at least it's on Hawaii, and we could like drive to the ocean.
Yeah.
She's like, "No, if I want to get a place, I would much rather be by the beach." I said, "Well, they're going for like 5 million base, and most of them are upwards of double-digit millions." And she's like, "Yeah, we'll just visit every couple of years."
Yeah.
So sorry. Yep.
Well, they have this thing as a retiree.
Yeah.
You can stay in base housing.
Really?
Yes, that is a true
Oh.
thing.
Oh.
If they have availability.
Oh shit! I would get myself on a waiting list then.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna kick off the music just so we're not too late. So I don't even know where I'm at on here. So what's our time? Yeah, I'm already late starting the music. Let's kick this thing off. You guys get me talking and I just forget what's going on. Let's go. Yep. Appreciate it, Corvus.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, dude.
Monkey.
Hope y'all don't mind. I'm at the beach. I'm playing on the beach.
Sure, why not?
That's just the waves you hear in the background.
And sorry about that.
You want Guantanamo Bay. It's hot over here.
All right, stop, man. Hey, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of Agora Quest 21 Shots. I am Sean, your host, and we are back from vacation. And I hit the wrong button and I cleared the chat. So if you don't see any chat, I am seriously apologetic. I don't know. I just fat fingered it or something. I think Lord Kazumba's rubbing off on me, but I should very much appreciate. I want to say I seriously appreciate everybody coming back to be with us as we have come back from our vacation. As I said, we left on May 31st, and so it has been 20 days now. Whew, 20 days since we were able to gather and roll dice and have fun and giggle and laugh at our antics. But I want to say that welcome everybody back. Didn't even get through the music and already we're getting hyped up there. Corvus Bray party members, if you did not see Corvus, who actually plays on our 5th edition game, stopped by, dropped me a nat 20, dropped the party a nat 20, and also dropped the party a nat 1. So thanks for that. I appreciate that, good sir. Jacob, you can go back to gaming or you can go back to lurking on us or whatever it is that you're doing. But I want to welcome everybody back, man. If you're new here, welcome. If you're old hats, welcome back. I know I saw Cardman out there as one of the first ones to roll through the door once I opened up the gates. So I appreciate the support and coming by to see what we're going to be going about tonight. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about us, as always, to kind of get through this before we can get to the most important part of the stream, and that is the actual game itself. We're a 5th edition and a 1st edition stream. Tonight's our 1st edition game every Monday night, starting at the same time, 7:30 Eastern. You can catch us every other Friday at the same time on the same channel for our 5th edition game. Everything's in Greyhawk. This particular game kind of bounces around. We call it 21 shots. Technically, it's not a one-shot because it usually takes the party about 6 months to get through a module or an adventure. So, I mean, take that for what it's worth. But we do have fun along the way. And our 5th edition game is more campaign-like. It's more contiguous and stuff. This is contiguous in the sense that the party can advance and they get gold and they level their characters, etc., etc. It's not new characters every game. However, it's different than a normal campaign in the sense that we do jump around. This tends to be more module, and I am very big on the old school modules, so we kind of hop for different ones back and forth. Throw a couple of homebrew ones in there every once in a while, i.e. we did the Paladin's Warhorse adventure, and that was sort of a homebrew thing, so we kind of do throw some of them in there. But for the most part, we try to just pick some of the old school modules and, hey, let's go have fun and do that. So I do encourage you to get your nat 1s and nat 20s in early. If you were here and you saw Corvus drop those, all you do is trade in your tokens. As you know, as you watch the stream, you earn tokens. You can just click the little, looks like a gold coin just underneath the chat box. You click that, it'll pop open a menu. You can select a nat 1 or a nat 20, donate it to the party, give it to a specific player, donate it to your humble DM, whoever you want to do it. Just let us know who that person is whenever you donate it so that we can annotate that and they can use it during the game. And I encourage you to get them in early because the party has to have them on hand to use them, right? You can't retcon in the middle of combat or in the middle of a situation and say, oh, I want to give them a nat 1 or a nat 20. They have to have it before they actually need it. So, like I said, I encourage you to get those in early because those don't usually carry over from stream to stream. Sometimes we do make allowances depending upon what went on during that night's game. If they never got an opportunity to use it or a need to use it, I will allow it to carry over. But for the most part, they do not carry over. However, another way, if you want to help support the stream, as well as help the party members, for every 100 bits you cheer, you can give a +1 to the player of your choice. Now, that does require you to pick a player or DM to grant that to, and then we'll annotate that, and then they can add a +1 or subtract a 1 from a dice roll, as the case may be, whatever they need. But those do carry over stream to stream because, obviously, if you cheer that 100 bits, you're spending your hard-earned coin to help support us in everything that we do, so we do allow those to carry over. And with that said, as of right now, your humble DM has a +3 and a +1. Sotal has a +1. Deglin, you still have a +4. Baron, if he arrives tonight, has a pair of +5s. Ronnie, you currently have a pair of +1s. Varys, you are down to a single +1. And Zadkiel, you have a +5 and a +1. So again, for every 100 bits you cheer, you can grant a +1 to the player of your choice, up to a maximum of +5 in a group. So you can give as much as you want, but we split it up into increments of +5 max. And so a player can use only a maximum of ±5 on a dice roll as necessary. You can't pick from multiple groups, right? So it's either all the +5 or whatever. So anyway, bottom line is, if you want to help support stream that way, obviously, another way to help support the stream, if you haven't already done so, please click that follow button. If you want to help support us, every penny that you put in goes right back into the stream in some way, shape, or form, whether it's content that I'm buying via various Patreons or for our hosting services for the game itself out on the Forge. If you haven't seen, we are a Foundry-based game hosted out in the Forge. So far, so good. It's had its issues here and there, but I think mostly they're working and getting much, much better. So, plus a lot of it has to do with I don't know, my wireless just sucks for some reason. I got a gig internet coming into the house, and it hits my computer at 300 to 400, but sometimes I still have problems. So I made sure I'm hardwired getting back tonight, so there are no hiccups, at least as far as the internet goes, unless I lose power. And knock on wood, I don't lose power again. I lost it the other day, so far so good. What else do we want to talk about? Let's see. How could I forget? Last but not least, as I said, we are a Greyhawk stream. But if you like Greyhawk content in general, there are a plethora of streamers out there that do Greyhawk content. We do have a team page. So if you go to if you go to twitch.tv/team/Greyhawk Creatives, just do a search for us, Greyhawk Creatives, and you can find us on Twitch. And there is a page there that Lord Kazumba has put up for us that has a whole bunch of different content providers, and they're all Greyhawk in one way, shape, or another. I encourage you guys to go check that out, because like I said, it's not just gaming that they do. It's all kinds of content, whether it's art like the art of Mike Disney, if it's mapping like Anna Meyer, Lord Kazumba and his chats, or his game that's been going plus or minus 42 years now. He's probably getting close to 43. He yelled at me one time because I was still saying 41, but it was over 42, but whatever. He's been doing it almost as long or longer than a lot of players have been alive. So I encourage you to go check him out if you guys haven't already checked him out. And that is us in a nutshell. So like I said, Monday, every other Friday. This coming Friday, we are streaming. This is our on week, if you will. So I encourage you to go check that out. The party is in the middle of the Yathill Mountains in Perrinland, whereas this group, let's talk about them. Our party, for those that have been watching the stream, was sucked into sort of this demi-plane called Averone, and they were seeking around various magical items to perform a ritual that would lead them to the tomb of Stephen d'Amberville, or Stephen Amber, as you will. And he had placed a curse on his family when his family tried to assassinate him. His dying breath, essentially, he put a curse on the place, and this sort of kept them in this state of stasis in this little demi-plane. And the party's job, if you will, was to seek out all these magical items in Averone, put them together in a ritual, find Stephen Amber's tomb, release him, and break the curse. And so they were so happy when it only took them a few weeks of adventure time and 3 months of actual real life game time to make their way through the entire series of adventures. And they managed to finally, last session, break free from Averone. They had lost Baron, their magic user, along the way, and as a turn of gratitude, Stephen Amber raised Baron from the dead and brought him back to the party. and the party was sent back to Greyhawk. They found themselves, however, standing in a large series of mountains, not very similar to anything they had seen before, or where they got sucked into the demiplane. They had hoped that they would be sort of sucked or dropped back out where they were brought in, but apparently not. And as they sort of appeared and took stock of the countryside, they heard screams and shouts coming from just over a hill before them. And at the end of last session, players, if you remember, you saw these young foot soldiers come charging over the hill, screaming for help, that something or whatever had taken them or killed them or whatever the case may be. And that's kind of where we left off in the game. And give me uno momento. Yes? My daughter brought home White Castle. I know what I'm having for dinner. Thank you. All right. And so, players, I don't know why my background music isn't playing, because I like to have that really cool kind of background thing, the ambiance going. But of course, there's nothing there. But, you know, I'm just going to leave it as it is. So, party, as you guys, well, first of all, are there any questions about anything that I covered beforehand, where you guys are stats are as far as your characters, or anything that, because it's been, what, 20 days? It's been 3 weeks, essentially, since we last gathered. So I imagine there's a little bit of fuzziness that might be going on, unless you went back and rewatched any of our streams. But players, before we really get in too deep with tonight's session, are there any concerns, comments, or anything that we need to cover ahead of time?
Did you identify all the items?
What's that? What'd you say, Ross?
Sorry, having a coughing fit.
Oh.
Did you attend up here?
So somebody's going to have to speak for Ross tonight, because he's got the coughing fits going on. I don't know about like any of the items or anything that you guys have gone. You haven't done any identifies on anything that you may have needed to identify. I think most of the stuff was identified, but there were a couple of outstanding ones that had yet to be identified. And I know that Baron does not have identify as one of his spells. So unfortunately, as of right now, nothing that's not already has not already been identified is identified, if that makes sense.
Okay, because I know Jalen had asked you in the loot channel, and I didn't know if you ever answered him.
I probably didn't. I was in Hawaii, man. I probably didn't answer nothing to nobody.
Yeah.
But if you want to answer that question again, we can definitely spend 5 minutes or so before we kick off, because I know Satal is showing as being online, but he's just not in the stream yet. So yeah, if you want to discuss whatever items, Deglin, I'm not sure if you have a list of items that may or may not have been identified that you guys are looking for. We can definitely talk about that.
Yeah, we have the items. I still have the list in the channel.
Is it in the loot channel?
If we don't have identify, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have identify, we can't do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
You may want to find where that is and then repost it so it's fresh on the. Oh, there it is. Is that like you said? All the gems add up to, so it's all that one right there.
Yeah.
That's that one.
Yeah, so the magic short sword Glimmer was identified. The Leather Tome spellbook went to Baron, and we did go through what all those spells were.
It starts at a magical quarterstaff
Yep.
with ivory and 3 diamonds.
Yep. Magic ring, magic gold ring with several gemstones, magic silver ring, a magic shield, a magic scroll found inside the Amber Lion. Yeah, so those are definitely things that, well, you could identify the potions, just by sipping them if you wanted to. Those don't require identify spell, but the other magic items are definitely going to have to. Well, the scroll inside the Amber Lion, where was that? I forget which Amber Lion.
It was annotated on the treasure list, so I'm assuming that that's how we identified where we found it at. So if we needed to go back to identify it,
Right, I'm
you
trying to
could know
think.
where it was at.
Yeah, I was trying to think Amber Lion, what that was. But yeah, the bottom line is, with the exception of the spell scroll and the potions, everything else is going to be required to have a identify spell. So,
Yep. Well, if we got people running at us right now, screaming, saying we just got abducted or whatever. Maybe we should deal with that first.
Yeah. I mean, wait. That's just.
yeah. And again, so as you guys sort of look around and get your bearings, you see that this large mountain chain, or this large group of mountains you're in, sort of slopes eastward and down into large valleys far to the east. The peaks themselves rise sharply to the west. And you can see that the sun is just now coming up over the east. So it is early in the morning, perhaps 8 in the morning. You're not exactly sure what day it is or whatever the case may be, but you do know it's a little bit chilly outside. So it's either because you're high in the mountains, because you are pretty high up, it seems, or it's late in the year, and it's just cold in general. So
Yeah, I think Zakio's gonna just get all his gear together and
okay.
do an inventory check, singing, early in the morning, got heat over the beaches.
Yep.
Horses.
Yes, all of your gear is there. Your horses are there, including the Paladin's
Yeah.
warhorse.
Yes!
But all of your stuff is there. And as I said, as you guys first sort of get your bearings and come into focus, a little bit of nausea and vertigo going on. You hear these shouts and stuff coming from just over a little ridge just to ahead of you, which is kind of to the northwest of you, if you will. Again, you're in sort of a plateau-ish part of where the mountains are and stuff, and you can see the trails leading down to the east and whatnot. But where you're on appears to be relatively flat area. Within the rolling region of hills and mountains and stuff. So you hear this sort of shouts and stuff coming on, and you see these young soldiers come charging over the top of the hill. There's only 2 of them. They bear markings that they are some kind of militia or army, or I don't know, members of the state or whatever you want to call it. Their attire is sort of black and white as far as the colors on them. You can see one of them has a tabard in front of him. He's got a shield sort of clanking over his back. He's got a sword at his hip and a short bow strung over one shoulder with a quiver on the other side, and they're sort of charging over the hill, yelling for help. The tabard itself has sort of this banner that it's black and white, and it looks like a griffin if you kind of look right in the middle of the map that I'm displaying right now. Where the duchy is, you can see that's sort of the symbol that is sort of flapping on his tabard. It's something that you have seen before. Not sure exactly where that is, but you have seen those colors and flags flying before when you guys were in Gryrex during the whole issue with the king's daughter and the prince and all the murders in where Varys met the love of his life, at least the love of his 2 weeks while they were there. Yeah. So, hey man, well, maybe if you make a name for yourself, she'll change her mind.
I am a name.
That's it. There you go. Hey,
I'm
Card
gonna
Man,
mount
thanks for
up.
showing up, bro.
I'm gonna mount up and I'm gonna tell the men. I'm gonna tell the party. Someone is calling for help.
And as you see,
And I run toward there to see what's going on as a paladin, on my horse.
okay. And as I said, as you charge forward, suddenly you see these 2 men. I say men, but they're more like you would sort of liken them to be not heralds, but the attendants for knights. What do they call them?
Squires.
Thank you. Sort of squire-like men. The way they're attired, because they're young, very young, maybe 16, 17, at tops 19. And again, the way they're attired and stuff, and the way they move, they sort of liken you to squires or young journeyman apprentices of a knight or something along those lines, right? And as you sort of see them and they see you, they start waving frantically and running towards you. Good sirs, you must come help,
I'm already leading in, and I'm turning back, looking to
much
see if my
gold
companions are following.
How much gold are you paying?
as they stop and they look and I have no gold, sir, but perhaps if you save our masters, the king will surely reward you handsomely, for he has sent them for this mission, but they appear to be in dire straits.
Explain the
Oh,
situation.
another rescue mission. Oh, let's go see about doing this. And I turn invisible on my horse.
Okay.
I tell the squires, lead on, boys.
As they turn and they rush back down over the hill, and you follow them into this valley, and you can see that there is an encampment already set up down into the base of the valley, and it has like 4 large tents. Like, it looks like a small contingent of people should be camping there. You can see several horses sort of tied up off to one side, just sort of eating on some grass and whatnot. You can see, like I said, the 4 tents. So there's the fire pit. Looks like somebody was there on a mini expedition, if you will. And as you get down into the encampment, the squires sort of point up the hill, and and they say, "Our masters went in there, but quickly, come this way. And they lead you sort of down to this depression. And if you look, the hill goes sharply straight up. Probably like 60 or 70 feet easily up. And you can see that erosion has sort of worn away to reveal a small cave opening. And then down at the base of this hill, there's a depression, and they go down into the depression for another 10 or 20 feet. And you could see what appears to be the chewed up, charred, and burnt remains of 4 men in armor. And they do not appear to be moving. And you can see that erosion has worn away this as well. But the big thing is that the erosion doesn't reveal a cave, but it reveals this huge sort of metal wall. Let me see if I can get a picture for you guys to kind of take a look at.
Well, you're trying to drum that picture up, DM. Question. So when we last played, we had been going for quite some time. I was down to like 2 spells left, and
you guys are fully refreshed. Nope. As soon as you guys arrived here, you were immediately restored to all health and abilities.
Okay.
So if you guys are showing any discrepancy to any of your... All right, let me see.
Low on spells.
Yeah, I need to see if I can find the... All right. So I want to show this. So this is going to show up on the map. So this is the view that you guys have in the little depression down there, minus the fact that there are a few bodies lying on the ground here at the base. But you can see this huge metal sort of wall. It's sort of curved in shape where the earth has sort of worn away and fallen away, revealing this big, huge metallic wall. And then down at the base of this hill, you guys can see are all of these bodies sort of lying there. They look like they've been scarred and burned with hot metal pokers. There's like fire burns, like somebody shot a fire arrow or maybe a magic missile through their plate armor and stuff. And their bodies appear to be puffed out, excuse me, puffed out in sort of greenish tint in color. Ronnie, give me a intelligence check, please.
All right.
So yeah, actually, sorry, make that a wisdom. Compare that to your wisdom. What is your?
That's still a failure. Wisdom 16.
Okay. So you are not sure what this is, but their skin is like green. You almost want to say it's like chlorophyll, but it's like obviously not. Like there's not like they're plants or anything, but it just has that look and feel of chlorophyll or a leafy kind of a color.
Well, I
Could it be
tell you guys,
acid?
I have no idea what that is. I would be careful touching them just in case they're contagious.
Could it be acid?
Um, give me a intelligence check.
It has to be intelligent.
Yeah,
How
no.
does Burly Bear feel about these people?
Burly Bear is sort of pawing at the ground and sniffing and kind of like. Yeah, Deglin, you are not sure. Doesn't look like acid because it doesn't look like it's eating away the skin. It's just almost as if, I don't know, maybe a disease or something. Maybe.
I investigate as well.
Okay, go ahead and give me an intelligence check.
I believe these. Oh, intelligence check. Okay.
Yeah, you have to be smarter than the other two.
Where's my character?
I don't know. What did you do with them? What's your
I want to go
intelligence?
above or below.
You need below.
Yeah, I'm good.
What's your intelligence?
It is my character sheet here. It is. Oh no, it's 10.
Ah ha ha. Sorry. Yeah, again, you aren't sure. You just know they're sort of greeny. Burly Bear doesn't want anything to do with them. He sort of paws the ground and sniffs and gives a little growl at them and sort of backs up a little bit and paws and sort of stomping at the earth like not happy with whatever it is they are.
I asked the boys, "What did you see? And what happened here?"
My good sirs, there was some foul golem threw our master's bodies into this state where you see, but you see, they already begin to change, much like the others. The whole reason we were here, the king sent these men to investigate. There is strange goings on with the plants. It seems to be infecting people and turns them into hideous plant demonic creatures. And as you look closer, Ronnie, you realize that, in fact, behind their ears and on the base of their neck, it looks to be some sort of a growing fungus, as if this fungus is slowly but surely taking over their skin.
Douse them with oil and set them on fire.
I was gonna say get a flower pot and put them in there.
Okay. Okay. So we are going to what?
I think we should burn them so that they don't turn into these monsters.
Okay. Is that what we're going to do, everybody?
I
And
go.
the bodies,
One
Yeah.
second, DM.
see if there's anything of value on them, and then
I want to touch one.
Okay.
Hold on. Before you do anything like that, let me consult with the nature gods. DM, if I spend 10 minutes and I roll around in the dirt and rub some on behind my ear, I can commune with nature as per the 5th level spell,
Okay.
becoming one with the nature in the area and be empowered with knowledge of the surrounding territory.
Okay. So what do you want to know?
I would like to know what is affecting these people? Is
It
it a fungus, which it looks like, and how is it passed?
So you, as you commune, you do realize that this is some sort of a fungal infection, probably brought about by fungal spores or perhaps plant spores that they breathed in or got into a wound or something, and it began to change their metabolism and in fact their DNA, and it turns them into these fungi like plant things.
Can I
And it
tell if it is the point of origination is either a creature or a plant?
unknown because it is not natural to this world that you are aware of, this material plane.
Can I tell if there is anything that affects it to either restrict it, retard it, or defeat it?
Unknown, perhaps fire, as with any other plant or fungi.
I think it was Daglin. I say, go ahead and burn them all. We're in bad stuff. We got to watch out for some spore spitting monstrosity that must be put down. Burn them all.
How many?
4 bodies. Two. I would say 1 flask of oil per body.
Well, I would like to use my now non-magical spear to poke them just in case they have something high quality on them, DM.
Okay.
And Zakiel stops them from burning them for a second, and he says, "Squires or young boys,
Sir.
we will have to burn these bodies."
Yes,
They
sir. This
carry-
is that is the
Yeah,
same as that is what the king has ordered us to do. Should we find anyone inflicted with such disease, we are to immediately put them down and burn them.
And what is the name of your king?
Duke Owen III, sir.
Oh, so he's a duke.
Well, the Duke is the king, but yes.
I'm going to ask them, do they know how long people have survived upon being infected?
I do not know, sir, but these creatures were found raiding some of the lower communities, and eventually the lords and ladies raised enough worry with the king that he hired this troop of individuals to come investigate and find the source, and it led us here. And they went into yon cave up top, and as he points, you guys watch as this sort of, as I said, you saw it looks like sort of metal. At the top, you can see that there's this little sort of a ledge with a black opening of a cave, and then at the bottom is where you guys are right now. You're sort of at the bottom in that little depression, but the hillock is pretty vertical. I have no doubt that Varys and Sultal could probably climb it with their skills, but the rest of you with your armor and everything, it would probably take a little bit of doing to get you up there. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's probably about, I want to say about 60 to 80 feet up on the climb. But definitely it's going to take a little bit of time and work to get you guys all up there, right?
Well, it looks like we do have an opening right here.
And I do apologize for the quality of the second picture, but so
It's better than a kick in the balls, DM.
you know something, I felt so too. But you know, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah. So okay. So
the lower door.
So you guys are currently at the lower door. So it looks a little different on the second picture, but it actually when you get down to where you guys are, is the first picture that I showed.
I tell the boys, boy, go tell your king we request audience on this matter.
Sir, it is a 1-week ride.
Well, you
So-
better get going then.
We are instructed to remain here until those who have gone inside successfully return, and so
Well,
it
they
was-
have returned, as you can see.
That might be a while.
yeah, so they're just saying basically that their duty was to sort of watch the horses in the camp while the hired individuals go in to investigate. But if you wish them to leave, then they shall do so reluctantly.
Well,
They're
need one.
good cars.
How much we're getting paid for this?
I do not know what the king offered, but these are some of the best heroes in the land, so I can only assume it was a hefty sum.
On the
I
one-
asked the boys. I
What's-
asked the boys, were they outfitted by the king? And if so, where is this gear that they received by the king? As
I
We
I
might
do not
need
know
to-
everything that they were provided. They brought with them into the yon cave up above, sir. We spent
looked at the
we
bodies.
spent 2 days trying to enter into this lower cave, but it has never been opened. So they elected to go to the upper, and that is they left 2 days ago, and then today we discovered their bodies had been thrown out by these horrific metal golems.
So do they have items on them?
So they have just their armor and stuff like that. You can kind of do a search if you guys want.
I'll do a search.
All right, go ahead and give me. Well, as you search them, their armor has been pretty much ruined, but you do find that a total of 5 gems, 20 or so platinum pieces, and 3 potions.
All right, gentlemen, we have 5 gems of seeing and some potions here.
Yeah.
Say that again, Sean.
You had 5. There were 5 gems,
Yep.
20 platinum between them.
How much do I think the gems are worth?
Let's do this. Each one is worth 200 gold.
Nice. And then you say a couple of potions.
Yeah, 3 potions.
Are they marked? Like labeled?
You know what? Yeah, we'll do that. There are 2 potions of extra healing and a potion of strength.
Nice.
One thing that you notice, by the way, Deglin, being the smithy types that your god is, the burn holes. You've seen people get shot with arrows. You've seen people get shot through their armor with magic missile type stuff, and there's always like an explosion sort of a feel to it, like the armor punches in and it sort of leaves a sort of a, I don't know, a concave in, but inside was where the armor is, so it sort of leaves that sort of a volcano look inside it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
These are like perfectly round bored holes. Like somebody took a nail and just drove it through so quickly that it just literally, it's like a punch. Like somebody punched a hole out of the armor. And they're very small, maybe a half inch around. Perfectly symmetrical, perfectly bored hole. Never seen it before in your life, but it has black around the hole like it's a burn.
I've seen an episode of Ancient Aliens about this.
And these young men say, you trying to open this lower door and you cannot?
Well, yeah, there was our lords spent almost 2 days trying to either wait for it to open. The door above opens and closes periodically. The cave has a metallic door that opens and closes every so often. This one we never saw open. They spent a couple of days trying to get through and figure out how to enter before they grew wearied and decided to just climb into the smaller cavern up above.
Let me try this door once we're ready
What?
to proceed.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said I will try this door on the lower side.
Okay.
For I am a master.
Rogue.
Okay.
Plus,
All
I
right.
can imagine him.
I talk to him and I say, Rogue, I would caution you to wear gloves. I would caution you to wear gloves.
I am wearing.
Okay, good. Because this seems like a disease to me.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's on the
From what the
door,
druid has spoken.
but yeah.
Okay.
So, well, now that we've robbed the bodies,
Mm-hmm.
let's cremate them.
Okay. It takes a few minutes. I'm going to say it's just going to take two flasks of oil. So whoever's using the oil, please remove 2 flasks of oil from your inventory. You pour the oil and you light them up, and a thick black smoke begins to pour into the sky as the bodies eventually catch fire and are consumed. And in the meantime, what are you doing with the lower door?
Well, I wanted to
Or the
ask,
lower wall, or
I
whatever you
wanted
want to
to
call it.
ask the 2 men about their camp.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of, if they have more oil or, other useful things in camp that might be useful to us.
Yes, sir. We have the ropes that they used to climb and scale. We have food rations for 1 more week. After which, we will have to go replenish our provisions. We have water. We have feed for the horses. We do have some oil that they used. They had lanterns, but they brought the lanterns with them. But we do have a dozen flasks of oil left down here. As well as we each have a lantern as for each tent. So there's like 4 lanterns that sort of hang on the tent pole that they hang up to light up.
We still have those magic ones, right?
Yes, you guys have the forever burning ones, whatever they're called.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, there we go. Ronnie, get some oil, and let's get some food and water for everybody, and get our gear off our horses and let them take care of the horses since we can't take them with us. And I guess I'll have to go look at the door.
Okay, you're gonna do the upper one, the cave up top, or this lower.
Let's start with the lower one first.
Okay. All right. So it takes you guys a little bit to sort of get situated. Sun continues to rise. It's still early in the morning, so it takes you about a half hour or so, give or take, sort of get yourself situated in the camp. And the 2 squires sort of take care of your gear. They show you the tents and stuff. If you guys were to come back and whatnot, at least have a place to stay. You can see there's a couple of cots in each one. And then you find yourself now standing at the base of this metal wall that has this seam running around that they say opened somehow and deposited their masters out. They said that you can look at the seam. It's barely visible on the metal wall. And as I said, the metal wall that is exposed behind the erosion is sort of curved slightly, but you can still see this faint outline of a seam that's probably 30 or 40 feet wide and almost as tall. So it is a very, very large, quote unquote, door or gate or whatever it is.
All right, well, I'm going to try and open it.
Okay.
That's what I do.
Okay. Go ahead and so you tinker around with this thing for perhaps 15, 20 minutes There's no lock anywhere. There's no latch that you can find. There's no discernible way that you can find to see how the heck this thing's open. So you don't even know if it's locked. It doesn't appear to be trapped for all the looking that you've done. Makes it a little difficult that it is sort of a steep rise there, and you got to sort of hang on and kind of and feel around the base and whatnot. But try as you might, you don't find anything that indicates how this thing would open.
There's a seam though, right?
Yeah, you can almost see this like barely thin outline of, and the only reason you really noticed it is because the two squires kind of pointed it out to you guys. Say, look, we saw this sort of thing open, and these just hideous metal golems sort of depositing their lords. The guys that.
This lower one and turn them out?
What's that?
Can I turn them out on the lower one?
Yeah, that where you guys are right now.
Okay. Well,
That's where you're at. You're at the lower door, right? You're at the lower door. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Obviously opens, then. Okay.
Yeah, somehow it opens, but you don't find any way. There's no latch or no conventional anything within your knowledge that.
Panel or buttons or
Nothing.
levers or anything.
No, sir.
Well, you know what? I have this magic item. I can use it. Or does a wizard have enough? No.
I was gonna ask if they had a pry bar, or if they tried using a pry bar.
They said their masters tried a magic spell. Their masters tried crowbars. They tried physically pounding on it. They tried cutting through with their blades, and they had hand axes that they were trying to cut through. But nothing seemed to phase whatever this was. So one of their lords said that it's probably, if it's made of metal, it's just so heavy that they can't pry it open. There must be some sort of a mechanical device perhaps inside that they can't see or tell about. But yeah, one of the kids says that his master was a wizard, and his wizard tried to cast a spell that he said would allow him to transfer space through a wall, and it wouldn't work. There was some sort of something blocking the ability to, i.e., dimension door or teleport through it.
Well then, we may have to climb. I think I'm gonna not waste my thing at opening then. If
Okay.
you can open it with even with magic.
Right.
I'm gonna save that, and I say we climb.
Okay.
Pack up and go climb.
All right. So as you guys look, you can see that it's, as I said, the sun's come up. You guys have spent perhaps a half hour, 45 minutes sort of investigating this lower door. Decided discretion's the better part of valor, and go with what the original party elected to do. And as I said, you see this hillside sort of, and it's rough and it's not completely vertical. It's kind of sloped downward, so it's a relatively easy climb, but I'm still going to need a climb check from Varys and or Satal. Satal is going to be going up to the top as well. Or is it just
early with them?
Too steep for the bear to climb. Too steep. You guys,
freeze.
But I'm just saying that this particular, I mean, he might be able to do it, but it's going to take. Wait, what did you roll? Sorry, I missed it. Okay.
99%.
All right. Yeah, so Burly Bear could probably get up there, but it is going to take him a little bit of help from you guys if you want to try to get him to climb up there with you. Yeah, I know they can climb trees, but this is all sort of rock and vertical sort of ledges and stuff like that, and so I don't necessarily know that a bear would be adept at climbing up. However, I'm not going to say you can't bring him along, but it is going to take help from you guys to kind of get him up there. But Varys, like within 5 minutes, you find yourself at this cave opening. You can see the cave itself goes in for perhaps 10, 12 feet or so. And then you can see what looks to be another first of all, the floor is rocky for about the first 10 feet, and then the next 10 feet or so, it becomes smooth metal, and you can see that there's like a metal room, right? So that's kind of what you see when you're up there inside. But there's plenty of places to anchor a rope to send it down below for everybody else to sort of climb up.
For example, I can lower him up.
All right, I'm going to need everybody to give me a strength check to climb up this hillside, please.
How heavy is Burley Bear?
I don't know. What's the normal size of a black bear or brown bear or whatever?
3 to 800. 800 being really big.
Yeah.
3 to 500 for your general bear.
So let's do this. Burley bear is 400 pounds.
I might be able to carry him up there.
Well, how about this? We just have Burley come up last. He'll bite the rope, and we'll pull while he climbs.
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay.
I can help pull him up too because I can carry 1,250 pounds plus.
I don't think that's what it is. I believe that's 1,250 gold pieces.
No, it's pounds already. Because it's 1853.
I don't necessarily think that's how it's supposed to be. I think it gives you the base strength is whatever. And then it says with this strength, you can carry an additional like 1,200 some gold pieces, which is like another 130 pounds or whatever. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. I agree, though. All of you together should be able to heft good old Burley Bear up there if you want him with you. Okay? All right. So let's see. So Ronnie, you have a little bit of a difficulty sort of climbing up there. However, eventually you do make it. So it takes Ronnie about a half hour to make it up there. Zadkiel, you make it pretty easily. Varys, you've already made it up. I'll have to do Baron.
I utter curses in Green Dragon.
Baron is going to use, he missed by one. I am going to use one of his points so that he can pass, so that I don't have to worry about it. So he's now down to from a +5 to a +4. So he makes it easily enough. Who else? And I'll do Satal as well. And without his belt. But he makes it. All right, so it takes you guys about 45 minutes for everybody to make it up. And as I said, you guys get up to this sort of this cave ledge, and you can see that the cave itself, there's a ledge that's at first stone, and then it hits this metal area. And when you step in, you can see that the floor itself is metal and has like this metal kind of grating on it. And that's kind of what you can see as you're standing in this metal sort of zone. And there's this like I don't want to say a door, but as you look at it, the wall itself is slightly curved, and you can see that there is like this small little seam running right down the middle of the wall.
See if I can push the seam apart.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a strength check.
Okay. Or do you need like a...
No, just roll it. No. Well, yeah, do that. Let's do that. Sorry, let's do an open door.
So open door is 3 out of 6 if it's locked, barred, or magic held.
Okay.
Better.
As you press on it, the seam is there, but you can't get any kind of a grip on the smooth metal. Suddenly, the wall behind you guys, as you stepped into this metal room, the wall behind you guys you hear this whooshing sound, whoosh, and a click, and you spin around and you see that the wall behind you is closed. And before you, the door or the wall sort of slides open, revealing a view into something, for lack of a better term, alien that you guys have never ever seen before. The first thing that you can see is that the metal grating on the floor continues into the chamber beyond. Immediately to your left and right, you can see what is like an outline of a door, but it's like a metal plate instead of a door. And I'll give you some pictures here to kind of take a look. But the first thing I want you to see is what you guys see as you, oops, I hate when that happens, is what you guys see when you first sort of look in.
Alien, I knew it.
As you guys look, you can see that there is a hallway running as far as the eye can see, and there's also some hallways to your left and right. They're off picture here, but dominating the center looks to be some kind of a mine shaft. You can see that the top of the mine shaft has been sealed off, but there is what appears to be, you can just barely make them out as you look in. Oh, hello. That's not what we wanted. Why is this thing so loud? Man,
Alien raid party.
No, I was going to say, that's not what I wanted my... let's go back here. There we go. Anyway, as you guys look, you can see that there's this mine shaft, and through the mine shaft, you can see the hallway or tunnel, whatever, continues inside. It's very, very dimly lit. It's not completely dark, but it's not like bright light outside either. You can see this mine shaft, but what's interesting is that on the left-hand side of the mine shaft, you can see what appears to be some kind of a rung ladder going down. And on the right-hand side, you can see another rung ladder that appears to be climbing up to the ceiling. But as I said, it's sealed off on the ceiling, so the rung ladder itself doesn't go any farther. To your left and to your right, you see what look to be some kind of a door frame, but there's no normal door like you would normally see. It's all made of weird looking kind of a metal. And this is what it looks like. You can see this sort of this outline frame of a door, and then there's some like a weird panel next to it. The bottom of the panel is a sort of a purplish color, and then there's this little tiny slot. Think of it as a credit card slot, if you will. There's a tiny slot at the top of the panel on the right-hand side of the door. Both doors to the left and to the right look the exact same to you guys. So that is here on the right and over here on the left. You can see there are two doors. And as I said, as you guys are looking in, you can sort of see right here is this mine shaft. And through the mine shaft, you can see this direction. You can see it continues as far as you can see. And then off to the left over here and off to the right, it appears there are tunnels going in that direction as well.
Well, I guess we should probably stay on this level until we figure out the layout of this place.
Yeah.
Ronnie, Burly Bear sort of sniffs and paws it. He goes,
We're probably gonna need whatever key or whatever will open these doors too. So
Do you see anything laying on the floor? I see some detritus.
detritus, just some detritus. Yeah, just nothing specific. But it's all very weird looking. It's
alien for sure.
yeah, definitely. I don't want to use the word plastics and stuff, but that's basically what it looks like. Sort of plastics and metals, and you guys would sort of liken it to like hornwood or bone or some material of that nature.
Mm-hmm. Um, I don't see or hear any creatures. Do I?
So that's the interesting sound. Give me a listen check, please, Varys, and you get a plus 30% on your hearing check.
I'd like to detect evil.
Okay. So Varys, as you're listening, you hear what sounds like chittering sounds and squawks and various almost like a jungle, but not quite any sounds that you recognize from the forest or whatever. So while it's familiar, it's still very alien in nature. And as you sense around, you detect no demonic forces or any evil undead or anything like that, Zadkiel.
Well, come on in and let's take a look around.
All right, as you
Don't
step
touch
in,
anything.
yeah, he investigates the door. Sotal investigates, sort of touches the panel a little bit, going completely against what you said. Sort of
Yeah.
plays with the door, but he doesn't seem to find any way to make it work. Or
Just in case, I can't bring you back.
Okay,
If you look down the mine shaft, how far down does it go?
go take a look. So, looking down the mine shaft, it's completely dark. However, you can see some sort of a light, maybe 40 feet down. Not really sure. It's very faint and stuff. But yeah, the rung ladders look to be in fairly decent shape. And what's interesting to you, Deglin, is that it looks like these ladder rungs are not set into the wall. They're set into some sort of a spongy track, right? So they're not like fixed into a wall like you normally see a rung ladder fixed into the wall that you climb down. There's a spongy material of some kind that runs, it's about 1.5 feet wide, that runs down the whole left side going down, as well as the right hand side going up to the sealed roof. And you can see that as you can sort of grab a rung and pull it, and it sort of moves just a little bit, but it's still very sturdy. It appears. It doesn't appear to be like broken or rusted or falling out or anything like that. But it looks like it would support weight to climb down.
I'll tell that to the rest of the.
Okay.
Looks like it'll hold us. We can go up or down, or
No, if you go up, the ceiling is sealed off.
we can go down.
Well,
Correct.
I think we should wait about going down.
I agree. Saying
And
that's possible. We
there's-
have to get out of here.
There's a lot of doors and things up here to look at.
I hear you.
I say we don't split up and we stay together.
As Satal says, I want to go down here by myself. No, just kidding.
I mean, have fun.
Yeah.
See you in the next life.
Yeah.
I see and I alert the group that I see something on the far right.
As you look down, it looks to be some sort of a small, squat, maybe 4.5 foot tall metal golem just sitting there in the middle of the hallway. Along the way, there are a few doors on the left and the right. The doors are and I want to describe. So from now on, whenever I say a door, every single door in this place is going to be the exact same unless I otherwise say. So if I say you see a door, that's exactly what you see. Is one of these flat panel thingies with a little panel next to it. Okay. Inside where you guys first came in, where Baron and Sotal are standing, the doors are sort of a violet purple, like a dark purple. Not the door itself, but the little push panel or the panel next to it. As you guys sort of step in and you look past, as soon as you step in, these doors, like up here, you can see are the exact same, except that the doors themselves appear to have black little square panels on them as opposed to the purple. Like this one over here. Oops. Let me see. No, I take it back. This one here is purple. So the first 4 that you see in here to the left, to the right are purple. But this one up here, you can tell is black. This one here is black as well.
Huh. Is there anything on the floor that matches the things?
The spiders said they toss those metal things, toss the bodies out, right?
Yes, they did say that there were strange metal golems that threw their masters' bodies out the lower door.
So we want to be wary of those.
Yeah, this one is strangely not moving. It's almost if it's just sitting there waiting, or you're not sure. You guys are not golem experts.
No, I'm always sorry for you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm gonna check the floor to if there's anything.
So interestingly, the